I would like to call to order the Board of Education meeting for August 11, 2026. The board will now hear public comments on closed session agenda items. If you're here in person and wish to speak, please ensure you have already submitted a blue speaker request form. If you are joining us via Zoom, please press the raise hand button now. We are currently finalizing the speaker list. To ensure consistency for all participants, we will only recognize the Zoom hands raised at this moment. Once we begin, the queue will officially close and no additional speakers will be added. The board does not respond to questions during public comments. Are there any speakers? Thank you. Uh, Good evening. The board will now reconvene to open session and report out from closed session. Open session of the Board of Education meeting is live on YouTube. Visit the NHUSD Board of Education webpage for the link. The board took action in closed session today as follows. Item 3A regarding employee number 0085. The board voted 5-0 to uphold staff's finding on the employee complaint appeal. Item 3B, in the matter of OAH, case number 2026041059, the board in closed session took action to approve a settlement agreement arising out of the dispute related to special education for a student with a total monetary value of up to $280,000 for educational expenses and attorney's fees. The board voted to approve the settlement agreement was 5-0. Items 3C and 3D, the board took no action. Committee members may email public comments before each meeting using the address on our webpage. For tonight, the board received 2 email comments. And public comments on non-agenda items will be heard during agenda item number 6, and comments on agenda items will be heard during agenda item number 7. If you're attending in person and wish to speak, please ensure you have already submitted a blue speaker request form. If you're joining via Zoom, please press the raise hand button now. We are currently finalizing the speaker list to ensure consistency for all participants. We will only recognize the Zoom hands raised at this moment. Once we begin, the queue will officially close and no additional speakers will be added. The board will not respond to questions during public comments. May I request Student Trustee Medina to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Someday.
May I have roll call, please?
Medina, Kumar,
Here.
Gonzalez,
Here.
Irby,
Here.
Freeberg,
Here.
Rafe.
Here. May I have a motion and second to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Medina, Kumar,
Aye.
Gonzalez,
Aye.
Irby,
Aye.
Freeberg,
Aye.
Rafe.
Aye, thank you. May I have Trustee Irby to read the land acknowledgement?
We want to open this meeting by acknowledging with respect and love that the land we are on today is the traditional ancestral homeland of the Ohlone Chochenyo First People. We recognize and thank the Ohlone people as the original stewards of this land. Indigenous people must not be spoken about in past context as if they had left on their own accord when the real causes were white supremacy, manifest destiny, and U.S. colonization. By recognizing we stand on the occupied indigenous territory of the Ohlone people, we recommit ourselves to listen to Native leadership and stand in solidarity with people struggling against systems of oppression throughout the world, past and present.
Thank you. Are there any blue cards for topics that are not on the agenda?
We have one. The first speaker is Kathy Kelly.
And Superintendent Thompson and the rest of the people in attendance. My name is Kathy Kelly, and I had no idea what was on your agenda tonight, but it happens that I'm here about something similar. You know, I have been concerned about the discussion about renaming school. And I know there was a discussion around the academy last year. And it seems to me that with social media and kind of the way things happen now, and with the kind of how that changes in a lot of ways, discussions around things that we have to do. It seems to me that an issue like these that come up sort of, and maybe I'm very dated and I'm talking about something that already exists, but it does seem to me that this is the sort of thing that we would have consulted a policy about. And it also seems to me that this is the kind of policy that perhaps should be considered statewide. And when I was on the board, we would have worked with the CSBA and with the Association of School Administrators and others on a policy around what the steps ought to be and what the policy would indicate, so that there would be a sort of standard about why you name something or rename it, and under what circumstances and what steps would be taken. I think it would be clearer for maybe the board, but also the public. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Kelly. Are there any speakers via Zoom who wish to address the board about topics on or off the agenda? Thank you. Lydia?
Good evening, board members, President Rafai, Superintendent John Thompson, the cabinet, and members of the public. My name is Lydia Edom. I'm now a community member, former, well, I guess a parent leader, former graduate, and I am speaking on the process of the renaming of CCMS. I want to commend the board for slowing down the process and allowing for more legitimate residential community input. I want to put support behind name or of a person or people who have had local impact to New Haven, Union City, South Hayward, demonstrable local impact. I'm even behind, we do this land acknowledgement every board meeting. I would be behind a naming after the Ohlone people for the school. So I hope the board would weigh heavily whatever recommendations come out of the renaming committee, that you would weigh heavily on the criteria that there be local impact by that individual or that person's or that people or the name that eventually gets selected. Thank you.
Thank you. So Karan Smith, you're on.
Hello, good
Hi.
evening, President, trustees, superintendent, members of the community. My name is Karan Smith. I'm a parent in the district. I am also the current chair of the District African American Advisory Board. I'm here tonight to speak on item 10A, the renaming of Cesar Chavez Middle School. I would also like to commend the board on slowing down the process. I was very pleased to hear that we'll be taking some more time to sort through the renaming. But as the district moves forward with the renaming process, I really want to emphasize the importance of having a process that is transparent, locally grounded, and based on clear and measurable criteria. And more importantly, the committee entrusted with this work should be diverse and representative of students, families, staff, and communities that make up New Haven Unified. And before names are considered, I think that there should be a clear criteria for how those names will be evaluated, and if the decision is ultimately made to name the school after an individual, I truly do believe that that individual should have a demonstrable, meaningful impact on New Haven Unified School District and the community that it serves. Um, I think this is really about creating a process that our community can trust and a result that reflects who we are and really what we value as a community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mac McAvoy? You- will- Mac McAvoy, you're on. Mac McAvoy, can you hear us? Like to share your comments now? I guess not. Okay, is that the last one? Thank you. So now I will call on speakers at one at a time. And no, this is now the public comment. Are there any blue cards for topics on the agenda?
We have a few. The first speaker is Raj K.
Good evening, members of the board, superintendent. I hope everybody had a great summer. I also wanted to thank all of you guys that met with a lot of members of our community over the summer. I know this is something extra that you guys do probably on other jobs, as well as doing this, and then also meeting us outside of this. We really appreciate that, you taking the time to listen to some of our feelings. So thank you guys for that. As you may know, for the last few meetings, myself and members of my community have been coming here, as well as the open community forums, to advocate for the renaming of CCMS in honor of Bai Jaswant Singh Kalra. Tonight, I want to talk about something a little bit different. I want to talk about censorship. In 2021, a prominent Bollywood filmmaker began creating a film on the life of Bai Jaswant Singh Kalra. The film was completed in 2021 after years and years of battle with the Indian Censorship Board. The film was blocked time and time again from being released because of the truths that were being released in this film. Earlier this year, in 2026, the film was eventually released on only online platforms. Within 48 hours, the film had 6.5 million unique viewers, which is crazy. Unfortunately, again, censorship on a government level strikes once again, and the film was removed off of online platforms. But at that point, it had been shared across the board. The reason I bring this up is because I really want to take this time to recognize the unique position that I am in. Members of my community here in Union City, Fremont, in the New Haven School District are in. We are very grateful to be in a position where we are here today advocating on a public open platform for the renaming of somebody in our community. We are very grateful to be a part of an organization, a part of a community that listens to its members, that does not try to censor any of their members. And so we are very grateful for this opportunity. I know the process has changed. It may be changing in the future too, but I just want to reassure you that our community will continue to show up. We will continue to advocate for what it is that we are pushing for. And I just want to thank you guys once again. Thank you.
Next speaker is Lily Turner.
Good evening, board. John Thompson and Shamsa. I'm Dr. Lily Turner. My family has resided in Union City since 1972. And after having 6 kids attend New Haven schools, I remain an active contributing community member, having done so for nearly 30 years. I want to speak briefly about the renaming of CCMS, item 10A on tonight's agenda. I find it unfortunate that the process has become both political and divisive. I've heard multiple attempts to influence the board's decision, including voices with no affiliation whatsoever with New Haven. The voice I want to bring here tonight is the voice of reason. The renaming process should be fair, equitable, transparent, and unbiased by squeaky wheels. To do otherwise would be a travesty. I've read the proposed renaming process and asked the board to disregard political pressure, false narratives, and outside influences. You must honor and respect the process. New Haven has actually already established a precedent regarding school naming. The honored individual has made demonstrable, lasting contributions in the district. These are people whose impacts and achievements in New Haven are undeniable. They are what I call New Haven icons, not secondary influencers. I suggest the committee establish a criteria for the proposed candidates, and at the very top of that list should be an account of the individual's demonstrable results and outcomes in New Haven. Guy Emanuel, Delane Easton, Tom Kitayama, all New Haven icons whose contributions are irrefutable. New Haven icons like Tommy Lindsay and Lee Webb fall into the same category. Both have demonstrable, lasting outcomes and achievements in New Haven and have earned the opportunity to have their legacy cemented.
Time.
Thank you.
Next is Darren Ransom.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Darren Ransom. I'm a commissioner with the City of Union City. I'm also a coach up at Logan, coach of football. I want to also commend you guys for slowing down the process to get everybody's voice heard for this renaming for CCMS. I'm also here to talk about that as well. Mr. Lindsay, I do like that name as well too, but I've talked to him. He doesn't want his name on anything as of right now, for whatever reason that may be. But I'm actually hoping that you guys could do a little more research and think about maybe put Roy Williams' name on there. Obviously, I went to New Haven. My kids go to New Haven currently. My daughter goes to Cedar Chavez, or whatever the name of the school is going to be. She goes there. My two boys go to James Logan, and I grew up in Union City, went to New Haven as well, so I'm a Union City for lifer. I just feel like they were saying that I think it should be somebody that's came up through the community, that has put some impact in the community and is willing to put some impact in the community. Roy has voiced to me that he's willing to pay the total bill for the renaming as well, if this was to happen to be in his name. He went through some stuff, some very difficult learning disabilities when he was in school. If it wasn't for the teachers at the New Haven School District, as well as the New Haven School District itself, he wouldn't have been where he got to. He ended up playing 10 years in the NFL. Very successful man now. Came from Union City and is Union City born and raised. I actually have books for all the school board members as well, just for you guys to look at his story and read about it. Thank you.
Next speaker is Maria Caceres.
Good evening to all the board. My name is Mireya Caceres, and I've said before, this is a topic that's dear to my heart as not just a resident of this community my entire life and school, but as teacher and principal of Cesar Chavez for many, many years. The issue for me has always been about the process that we've gone through. As I've mentioned before, this will be the fourth time we have renamed that particular school. I was here to witness all of those situations in the past. I want to say on behalf of the committee that we never got an opportunity to share what our initial thoughts and criteria were. So I'm hoping that as this new process now unfolds, that you will take the time to listen to the things that we considered initially. We took the job very seriously. We represent this community, and we want the chance to share what that criteria was and hope that we have the opportunity to do that, as well as represent the constituency of this particular school. Thank you.
And then the final speaker is Susie.
Good evening. I'm just here about this whole change process. I'm glad we're changing it because the way you guys did it at first was so unfair. Nobody I know, and I know a lot of people, have gotten the chance to been part of the survey. It went to one person, it went to other person. I happened to find out by chance because I work at the grocery store. And in conversation, that's it. And what you guys did was unfair, so hopefully you guys will do it right now. What Medea said, what those other two ladies were talking about on the video, it's a Zoom call. That's what I want to hear. That's how I like to see it work. And it has to be somebody from the community that has done a lot in this community, that their name is recognized not only through the community, but through the state and through the county. That's it. Thank you.
No more blue cards.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. And now for the labor partners, do we have a report from CSEA president? Seeing none. And do we have a report from NHDA president? Thank you.
Good evening, school board, employees and community. Thanks for coming out. Just wanted to say hello for the new start of the new year. We're officially in week 2, having completed 5 school days of our 180 mandatory days. It feels like it's been a really good start. It's been fairly smooth. We have had a few wrinkles, but we are working on getting everything settled that we need to get settled, and it's been a good process. We've had some good collaboration the last few days, and I just appreciate the hard work of everyone who's contributed to make this first week a success. Although the air conditioning seems to be the hottest topic entering the second year of my presidency, the concerns have been heard and they've been addressed quickly, and things are happening at a breakneck speed. And so everyone really does need to be commended on getting those problems solved. People are telling me that they're happy with the results that we're getting. And so things are good. The other big win, of course, is the settling of the contract. So thank you, board, for getting that done. We do appreciate that. It's much nicer to have the beginning of the school year being settled and not having that hanging over our heads, so we can concentrate on teaching and learning. The last thing that I want to mention is the idea that election season is upon us, and NHCA's big push between now and November 3rd is to get Proposition 3 passed this year. Proposition 3 is the existing tax on upper income earners. It only applies to individuals making more than $360,000 per year, or couples making more than $720,000. That's the top 1%, essentially. It's a little bit, it includes maybe 1 to 2%, but it's essentially about the top 1%. It is the current tax that everyone's paying right now. It was enacted in 2012, I believe, or 14. It was re-upped a few years later. It is expiring or sunsetting in 2031. So the effort is to get this on the ballot. That passed is already on the ballot, to get this passed so that it makes permanent those taxes for the upper income earners, to continue the current level of funding that we have. If this does not pass before the next couple of election cycles, we'd like to get it done now. But if it doesn't, California will lose $15 billion in funding. This district alone will lose $15.5 million. And so what that looks like in practice, if you just put it to NHTA, is 1 in 6 of our members will no longer be employed. It's a massive, massive hit. So it's important that you talk to your friends, you talk to your community, you talk to your neighbors, and get them to pledge to support Proposition 3 in November and get that passed, so we can, again, go back to concentrating on teaching and learning and all of the good things that we want to do, and then fight for more funding, because, as you know, we don't have enough funding even at current levels. So that's my speech. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you. The board will now hear a presentation from our business department.
Hello, Trustee and Dr. Thompson. Welcome back from summer. So let me, this is a presentation for facility update. Well, of course, during the busy summer, we have a lot of things got completed and is all excited about it. So let's start the presentation. Okay, first slide is, well, we just want to get some updated on the previous measure, which is Measure M. For the balance of about $7 million, so we try to rededicate it on a couple major items, which is Hillview Crest, the track and field projects, swimming pool, and Alvarado's MUR projects. Next slide, please. Or maybe. Okay, so let's look into the 2005 and 2006 completed project. Just to let you know, this is the project that we completed after the summer of last year. So the projects before that, which we presented already before, for example, the robotic classroom in the Hillcrest, that's not going to in it. So, okay. So first of all is we completed Alvarado's makerspace, and the library is they start using it basically after last summer. All the painting projects, both during the last summer I'm talking about, which is the Caesar Surface and the IBC. James Logan's marquee signs that we completed like in the summertime. If you've been passing through it, it's beautiful. It's great information on it. Thank you for the team, the media teams, members in the district. They post really great image on it right now. We're really making good use of it right now. So this is some of the smaller projects, but we put some safety grid on Pioneer. And a lot of different kind of small projects that we've done during the past school years. So, okay, so let's back to Measure N that we're talking about right now. So this is just, we kind of like a book and record that we talk about this all the time is all the Measure N project that we start and planning on is based on the previous master planning. Not only that, if you remember for the past, like before the summertime, we have a site survey with all the schools. So we gather all the like priority items with the different principals and staff. And we also consider that into our Measure N's planning. So I want to update some of the projects under construction right now. So of course, there are Caesar Surface, CCMS, the track and field project is ongoing right now. We're waiting for the turf to come in, the artificial turf to come in because of the back order of the materials that, of the field materials. They push the project about 1 week. So right now the completion time is basically end of September. So another pictures of the same projects. So the next project is coming up really soon is the IBC's track and field. We already have DSA approved it. If you remember, one of the reasons that this project was delayed is because of the solar panel, which is not owned by the district. We resolved the issue with DSA finally with some other alternate way that how we solve it. So finally, we got DSA approved with this project, and we already have a contractor on this project already. Right now, the process is we are negotiating what we did in the Caesar Surface is the GMP, the guaranteed maximum price of this project. They already provide the GMP to us, and our district alternate is looking in and reviewing the package of that. So I would say that we will have the GMP package presented to the board on the next board meeting. After that, basically the contract, as long as we approve, like what we did for the Caesar Surface, as long as we approved the GMP, then the project we can officially start, because it's already been DSA approved. Next one is actually we basically is like 90 to 95% completed during the summer is the audio enhancement project. So district-wide, we have the successful story with the Hillcrest. Right now, we have this same system provided to the rest of the other schools, and the project itself is 95% completed, I would say. Another exciting project that we are 99% completed. The only site that is still need couple days to be completed is the zero. But all other than zero elementary school, which is a one play structure still in construction. Other than that, all the other schools enjoying their new play structure already. If you have a chance to go to any elementary schools during the school day, you'll see all this new play structure in action. Another project ongoing is our SciLogic, which is our energy saving project, which is upgrading the LED lightings and the HVAC upgrade, which is also including the Pelican control, which is, we are working on to make sure everything's work perfectly. Another project ongoing is actually James Logan's Central Kitchen's outside drop-off area is still in construction right now. If you pass by, they are planning to complete the work. Completed the work like within this week or next week. We have two schools being painted this summer also. Diane Easton's one of it, and the other one is Bernard White. Both projects being completed. Bernard White, they just completed last week. We will still have a punch walk with it. So if you see some of the contractors still need to do some of the touch up, on their school. But in general, both schools completed during the summer. Okay, some of the project in design. Obviously, is one of the major project that is still in design is our major project, which is James Logan's modernization project. Is working along with DSA. I personally have 2 meetings with DSA and the architects already to reveal what's the challenge of the project itself. So it's keep going with the design developments. We are planning to get a contractor and a construction management company to come and help with this project within 2 months, basically. Another project ongoing is the swimming pool project. Also, we have a meeting with DSA to look into some of the design criteria of this project. The architect is very busy, basically keep going with the design development drawings. Couple challenge of this project is we find out some PG&E lines is in the way of our extension of the project. So we actually have another consultant helping to specifically doing the coordination between the PG&E and changes with the projects. Another exciting project we are ongoing is the pavilion at James Logan. This is it's going very smooth, and the architects, which is also HED, have been able to put a new bathroom. If you look at the north part of the plan, it's a new restroom. Right now, that the pavilion have like no restrooms, so they're able to put a new restrooms in that area inside the gym, and of course, including some of the visually upgrade of the gym also. The status of this project is actually going to construction document already. They are planning to submit to DSA within these 2 months. One of the projects ongoing, same thing, is the Alvarado multi-purpose room, and also we're going to put a new restrooms right next to the multi-purpose buildings. This project is also planning to go into DSA within 2 months. The Bernard White project, administration, band room, and signage project is ongoing in designs also. Similar to the other 2 projects, the architects planning to submit this drawing to DSA within 2 months also. Hillcrest Elementary School and Administration Office upgrade. We are planning to to put signage on the top of the entrance and including the accessibility of the outside area. This is this project, the district-wide safety improvement project is the project that we approved before the summer. It's ongoing right now with a Carter, and this project is like district-wide, improving not only the camera system and including the access control and the security alarm. It become one system and packaged together. So I would have more information regarding this when when the projects keep going. That's about it right now. If you have any questions for me, I'm like happy to answer.
Yes, Trustee Kumar.
Thanks for the updates, always exciting. I just have a couple of quick questions. One is the CCMS track will be open to the community end of September or ish?
Okay, yes. So the track and field itself will be completed by the end of the September. They still have some other area like the entrance area and other area keep going with the improvement, including some of the fencing works. However, those work will not affect the usage of the track and field itself. So it will be by the end of the September, it can be open to the school and the public to use.
Okay, beautiful. And then I had a question on one of the slides. You know, the Measure N slide that you had that had a table with priorities?
Yes.
The priority.
The Measure M, you mean? The first?
N.
Oh, the N, okay.
Yeah. You had a slide with the table.
Right, okay.
So the priorities column was blank. So are they arranged in priority or is that something that we're working
Yes,
on?
because that I put that in, it's just for example, because we send that list to all the principal and they have different items to put on.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks for clarifying.
Yes, Trustee Irby.
Yes, thank you for the presentation. I just had a question about one of the slides of James Logan High School. The 400s weren't on that particular slide. Is there anything happening in the 400s that we should know about?
Which one?
The 400 building.
Let me see. Let me go back.
So it's basically everything behind the 500s.
Are you talking about the portable buildings? The portable classrooms?
And then there's a fixed structure that's on just directly behind the 300 building.
That would become the so that's basically about like
yes,
about
right in that modernization.
Okay, so that that would become a public the portable classroom will be removed.
Yes.
And then that area will become a staff parking. That's included in the scope of work.
Oh, so beyond the fixed building.
Yes.
But all the portables will be removed.
Yes, the portable classroom will be removed and that will become a new staff parkings.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then also you mentioned about the pool and PG&E. Is there a change in the timeline that it hasn't gone to DSA because you're working on design? How much extra time does that will that involve?
In this stage, I don't have information for that right now. We are working actively to hope that we will not have any, because we are all very proactive on doing that. And right now we don't know what is the timeline for PG&E to help us to relocate the lines right now. But again, for now, I would say that it will be maybe about 2 months delay on the jobs, but we don't have a real guaranteed time on that yet. However, we are very proactively, because the thing is imagine this is still in design stage, but we are already aware of the issues. So we are very proactively acting on resolving the issue before even we going to DSA right now.
One last question around the pool. When do you project will be the first shovel in the ground to start?
Again, right now I cannot give you a really solid time, but we're still targeting to have the construction start before next summer.
Okay. Thank you.
Any questions? Thank you so much. Excited to see the application of Measure M project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Now we have a 45-day budget update. Thanks.
Hey, good evening, President Raffay, members of the board, Dr. Thompson. Even though I just presented the budget a couple of months ago, I did mention, I think at that time, that there is the potential to have to revise the budget sooner than the first interim based on what the legislature and governor agreed to with the final state budget. So it's for a good reason that I'm here presenting this updated budget. And so basically, what the Ed Code states is that if the governor passes a budget that will make a material difference to your district's budget, that you are to revise and publicly present that revised budget within 45 days of the governor signing the budget agreement. So we're here before the 45 days is up. It's up in a couple of days, I believe. So we're here to publicly present those few updates. So just some brief highlights that I'm going to go over the next 3 or 4 slides are just kind of what the budget cycle is, what are those changes to our revenues and expenditures, and then what can we expect next. So we're right here on that right-hand side of the pie chart there, 45-day budget revise, presenting this in between our budget approval and first interim that will be presented in December, which is a budget update as of October 31st. So this is the impact that the governor's budget made to our fund balance. And so while we're making those changes to the revenues, we also had some expenditures that we made some adjustments to. So you can see that we've made some adjustments that you can see in the red, and those were all to some of our salaries and benefits. And so just slight modifications there that we're updating since we were presenting this to you all this evening. What you see on that middle line, additional investment in LCFF, the governor provided a 1.44% additional COLA for districts this year. And so while that additional funding can be used for anything because it's part of our LCFF funds, he also mentioned that this was to also help support the new paid pregnancy leave that he also signed into law, which is going to guarantee paid pregnancy leave for all of our staff. So that's about a $1.8 million adjustment in revenue, additional revenue to our LCFF funds for this year. Then on that second to last line, the other increases to the budget are about $8.7 million in one-time discretionary block grant funding. That's on the restricted side of the budget. So while it's restricted, we can still use that for almost anything since it is discretionary, but it's also to address some of the other strains that we're seeing as school districts, declining enrollment, increase in retirement costs, things of that nature. But that's about $8.7 million in one-time funds that could be spent over the next 4 years, I believe. And then lastly, there was the special education funds that the governor had proposed in May, and those were agreed to. So it's a over 40% increase to our special ed revenue on the state side. And so that is a significant increase in funding for us. And so that estimate is at about $3.2 million of additional special education revenues coming in. And that's ongoing funding from here on out. So that's a very big win for school districts. That'll help lower the general fund contribution that we're making from the unrestricted side to the restricted side in special education, but a big benefit for our students. So overall, you can see it's about a $13.3 million increase to the budget, mostly being on the one-time side, but still very, very positive. So that's why that was pretty material for us. So that's why I'm here today presenting this to all of you. So with that, we've completed our 45-day budget revision. We're in the process of closing out the previous fiscal year. We have to do that by September 15th. We'll be presenting the unaudited actuals at the next board meeting. And then after that is the budget update for the first interim, and that'll be by December 15th. Any questions about our 45-day revise?
Thank you. You did.
Thank you.
Now, we'll review the renaming process for Cesar Chavez Middle School. Dr. Thompson will.
Sure. All right. So just a reminder of how we got here. In April, the board approved a quick process to see if there was a way that we could complete the renaming process by the end of the school year to start the school year with a new name, knowing that if we needed to fall back and extend the process, we could. Became very obvious partway through the process that that's what we needed to do. So in July, we regrouped and staff came together and based on feedback from the board and what we heard from the community, came up with a longer process that is a good basis for conversation with for the board to have tonight, that makes the committee larger, extends the timeline, defines more of the different parts of what the process could be, throws in a date for a community forum right up front here that you could have. And then knowing that depending on how the process goes, kind of an open-ended back end of the process, because if more information is needed, if there's more community input needed, you have the option of having that occur as well. But most importantly, I think for the board is that tonight, since ultimately the committee that's charged with undertaking this process is going to bring names to you, you should be really comfortable with the process. So this isn't something that staff is tied to. It's obviously your process. It's just some milestones and a timeline that could address the concerns that were raised. But it's really up to the board there's two parts to this. There's 10A where you can discuss this. And then if you want to make any modifications to any part of it, we'll make sure we capture those. And then when we get to the action item in 12A, when any motions that's made we'll just capture any modifications to it and approve those modifications at that point in time. So at this point in time, I think the board should discuss this process and come up with any thoughts, recommendations, comments.
Yes. Trustee Kumar?
First off, I want to thank staff and the committee for being patient and, letting us take time with this very important decision. I'm hoping that the board can have a conversation here about this process that's outlined. Most of my comments are based on, actually all of them are based on feedback from the community over all the meetings that we've been having and what we heard today. So if it's okay with the board, I'm just going to go through, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 written there, if that's okay.
Yes, please.
All right. So for bullet point number 1, that's mid-August through mid-September, it talks about the committee composition. I did have one question there, Dr. Thompson. The 2 community members, I thought that was a little vague. Can you just shed a little more light on who those 2 are or how will they be picked?
Yeah, that's a great question. So again, the idea being to try to create as much representation as possible while still having a committee that's manageable. And 13's a large committee, but probably small enough to work. So it kind of depends on who applies, I guess. I think for the community, we would certainly want representatives from, if we could have them from, obviously the Punjabi community's been here. They're a strong part of the community. There may be other segments of the community. We'd have to see who applies. And I think you go back to the first part is who would be best able to help the committee identify, as was pointed out, and I printed it out here, help us determine which names, it was the part, and one of the other speakers spoke about it tonight, had an impact in the community. I'm sorry, here it is. So trying to find the members, the people that are applying to be on the committee that are most likely to be able to help us determine which individuals have made an outstanding contribution, which geographic areas have the most significance for the area, those criteria at the top. And I don't have an exact answer other than those are the criteria that are identified in the policy and trying to find a community member that can best fit in terms of determining.
That's helpful. So my understanding is that there are applications that will be sought, right? I guess my question was more around who picks the 2.
That would be, right now, the way in this process, as it's in the draft of it, it would be staff that would do it. It would be probably me and Deputy Superintendent Stevens. We would probably involve Principal Camacho, since he's very familiar with the people that are most likely to be able to meet this, help serve these criteria within the CCMS community. And that's right now, that's what we are recommending at this point.
Okay, and then for that same bullet point, I was curious, so who leads the committee? Because our board policy 7310 says under the direction of principal, although that's for naming a new facility, this is renaming, so it's a little different. But there were concerns from a community member about, the dynamic, if the principal is leading it and there are students and teachers from the same school site, they might not be able to voice their opinion. So I was just curious who's leading the committee.
Right. And realizing that this actually puts Principal Camacho in a really difficult position as
Yeah.
well. When we met, we decided it would be best to have somebody that isn't associated with CCMS and would not be a voting member of the committee. So I have a new deputy superintendent over there who I think is going to be the one who is going to be leading the committee, and again, not having a voting stake in it, but just making sure the process is followed.
Got it. Makes sense. All right. Those were the things I had about bullet point 1. For bullet point 2, the survey that's going to go out, I just want to confirm, I know it says it here, that it's restricted to the NHUSD attendance area, but it'll go out to everybody who lives within that area?
Correct. Well, the only way we can really access everybody within our community is to do a district-wide mailing. So we would do that similar to what we've done for the Logan renaming and other bond measures that we've had. And we have a template for that that we can put together really quickly. And it would have the link to whether or not you want to serve on the committee as one of the sections. So you could fill that out. And also, if you have any suggestions for names, it'll take you to that survey. We also are sensitive to the fact that some people within the community don't have access to technology the way that a lot of us do. So they'll be on the survey, or on that mailing, it'll inform people that they can also come to any of our sites or departments and either fill out a paper form for either one of those teams to submit a name for review, or to nominate someone or nominate themselves to be a part of the committee.
Okay.
I had a question. You said mailing, is that going to be an email or a physical?
No, this would be, we'll use all of our social media and email vehicles, but this would be a physical mailing that'll go to every mailbox to every household in all of our attendance areas.
Okay, that's great. And then just within that same bullet point, what I'm hearing across from the community is it would be nice to have some clear criteria or parameters and weights associated with it. I think I heard the word measurable. That would be very helpful for the committee as well, I think, in the interest of transparency, because a lot of our community would like transparency and we would too. I know our board policy 7310 talks about outstanding contributions, geographic areas, world, country, state, community, cultural diversity. That's in the board policy, but again, that is for new, for naming, not renaming per se. But is it, and this is, I guess, a question for the board, is it a good idea for the committee to establish those parameters? Or how, or Dr. Thompson, if you can weigh in?
Sure. I mean, if the board has any idea, if there are any criteria that you would like included in that, now's a great time to share those. We can incorporate that. It really can go either way. The committee could create the criteria based on the board policy. You could direct it and outline the criteria you want used, or at least set some of the criteria that the board, that should be there, and that the board, I mean, there's certain things, for example, if you want to be a member, one criteria would be you have to be available, right? So are you talking about the?
No, I'm talking about the actual name itself. So, the first time it just weeds out a little bit of noise. The first time we put out the survey, Hamburger Middle School was one of the.
Right.
So, if we have clear parameters and assign weights to them or measurables, then it just helps the committee bring up the top 3.
Right. The initial committee was not doing anything other than using the criteria outlined in the policy. If the board would like other more specific criteria, now's a great time share those thoughts.
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't have a chance to hear from the committee as Ms. Maria shared. But if those were the criteria we were using, I guess, yeah, so this is a question for the board. Are we good with those criteria? Do we want to assign weights or will the committee do that?
There's an interim step. I'm sorry not to
Okay.
interrupt. We could have, when the committee meets, them come up with the criteria and then share them at the next board meeting. And before they move forward and because there will be time between when the committee's formed and meets and board meetings. And we could have, say, for example, they'll meet after the September board meeting, but ideally before the October one. We could have an item in the October board meeting where they can share the criteria and the process they're going to use based on the kind of broader criteria outlined in 7310. That's if you would like that, we can add that as a step.
Are we in agreement?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Mhm.
I would like that, especially now that the committee is going to represent everyone in the community. It would be a good idea.
And, okay, so that October meeting is on, I think it's the 7th. So at the October 6th meeting, I have a note we'll add to the timeline that on 10/6, there'll be a committee report sharing the criteria developed in the renaming process to present that and get feedback from the board and make modifications as appropriate.
Sounds good. And then one last thing for me was number 6. This is not so much for staff, it's more for the community. The timeline seems like the decision might go into December to February. So I just wanted to remind folks, we will have a new governance team. We're going to have at least one new board member, maybe 2. So when y'all send comments to us, we love hearing from you and we do our best to advocate. But it's a good idea to put it, in public comment like this, so the information is out there and whoever is on the governance team can make an informed decision because they are the ones who will be making this decision. So just keep those comments coming in, attend, call. It's very helpful.
Thank you, Trustee Kumar. Anyone else?
I do.
Yes. Trustee Freeburg?
Yeah, I have, I met with some community members and I've gotten some questions and feedback from different community members. One of the questions is considering the board appointing the renaming committee through a public board process rather than through administrative approval. I've heard this is the way naming committees have been chosen before. And the feedback is a board-appointed committee would better reflect the diversity of our district and help ensure that all communities have confidence in the outcome. There are some concerns about the assistant superintendent and principal Ramon Camacho approving the committee members and that the committee lacked diversity and representation. And again, these are not my words, this is feedback. So without changing how the committee is selected, the same concerns apply about equity and public confidence may remain. So the question is, would we as a board consider appointing the committee members?
Actually, for me, I feel like, if the board picks the committee members, then we would have a bit of a bias. Because when we're picking them, then their name would definitely be, so I feel it, like when we have to make a decision, then it would be best we are not involved in picking the people.
Well, I think they would still be the same application process. Like folks that wanted to be on the committee would still apply. It would just be the board approving it in public as opposed to administration.
I have a question, Trustee Freeburg. Are you referring to all 13 or the 2? Because when you mentioned
believe
the
that-
application, I think as it stands is only for those 2, correct? The
2 or 3?
community members?
No, we would put out the application, the first time around, we put the application out to anybody and everybody. And so
I
then,
see, okay.
yeah, so this would be for all 13.
Okay.
And that,
So-
when it goes out again, it'll be, that'll go out to the entire community saying, if you want to be involved, and then the names will all come to us and we'll try to create a representative committee based on the, and this is, again, this is a board decision. So we were recommending 2 CCMS parents, 3 CCMS staff, 2 students, parents representing our 3 our parent groups, 2 community members. So there was that composition that we would be looking for, whoever's selecting them, if that's the composition of the committee, would be looking for the best representatives in each of those spots for all 13 seats.
I see. I'm glad we brought that up because I was under the impression that we're going to use the same committee that we had, right? The teachers who were picked, the students, because they put in all that work. And we were just going to add more representatives from our parent groups and the other groups, but maybe.
Well, I
that
think
was just
it's, I think it's very likely that a lot of those, if they want to continue, I think they would be good choices, but we don't want to make any presumptions at this point. You might have a couple of people that are on that committee saying, forget it, I don't want any part of it anymore. So, but certainly I thought that in the first go around, there were members on that committee that did do a good job of representing the CCMS community. And so they may still want to be part of that, but we're not making any preconceived judgments at this point of
That's
any
fair.
of the
Yeah,
13 seats.
Makes sense.
Because I believe we also had some public comments questioning the survey data and the composition of the naming committee. So of 13 voting members, 3 positions are specifically reserved for parents representing D3A, Punjabi Advisory, and Latino Advisory, while only 2 positions represent the general community. And the question was why? Again, not my feedback.
Yeah, again, trying to balance, this is that fragile balance between having a representative community or a committee. And then I think it's the amount of work you get done tends to be inversely proportional to the size of the committee. So trying to keep it manageable and trying to get 13 people to all agree on dates and times and meeting and then move that committee forward is going to take some work. Making it bigger, you could add 4 more members and it's up to the board. This is just a recommendation. If you wanted to shift this around at all, it's certainly, if you want to add more, we can do that. So it's just, this seemed like when the staff members met, that when we talked about it, the best way to kind of balance both needs, trying to keep it nimble enough to be functional and big enough to be representative. But certainly it's really up to you. You need to feel comfortable that whoever the number of seats, the types of seats, who's on the committee is going to do the job, where you can get to the end of the day and get names from that group and say, yep, we feel like that was the right committee. This was the right process. So if we need to shift it around, now's your time.
So how big was the previous committee?
7.
See. So there is a chance that if folks on the previous committee are interested, they reapply?
Yes.
And those names would be considered by either the administration or possibly the board?
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to understand.
Questions?
So we wouldn't be selecting, we would just be looking at applications and have the recommendations in mind of the size and the recommendations in terms of community groups and representation. And then it could be a public vote.
That's not the way it's described here.
Yes.
But if the board wants to modify it way, that you could certainly do that. So I think the 2 questions are, is this committee, the configuration of the committee appropriate? And then next, who selects the committee members? Those are the 2 questions before the board right now.
And in previous naming, I was told that the board selected the committee.
Yeah, we couldn't find anything that says, we didn't find any criteria that were adopted by the board back in the last renaming.
Okay.
Well, this is really up to the board. How do you want to proceed?
Well, I'd like to go with based on my own experience with renaming, from the New Haven Academy to IBC to the naming of Guy Emanuel and Tom Kitty-Yum, and my experiences with naming of those school sites. I think that we have the staff pick the team, 13 members, and then as long as the committee is reporting back to us, so we can make, because ultimately we will be making the final decision on what the name is going to be. And so whoever's on that committee, will just give us that information, and then we'll make that judgment based upon, the recommendation of that committee. And so to have the 5 of us pick and choose 13 members, not knowing who's out there, I think it makes it more cumbersome for us. I'd rather have somebody report to me, because to be honest with you, I'd like to hear what the 7 said. And we haven't heard that. Yeah. And so we haven't had that transparent conversation about where we're at. I know that we're struggling with it. Believe me, IVC took 15 years to change, 15 years, and it was a student movement that did it, ultimately did it. And so I understand the pain the community is going to go through to get to this, to a naming. And yeah, for some, it's going to be a lot of suffering. And so for us as trustees, we can make the best decision by the information that the community gives to us, or the committee gives to us. The selection of the committee, I think that, our board policy has already given us a really good outline. Taking it out to 13 adds more diversity. It's really that transparency portion, who's reporting back to us, and the quality of that report coming back to us that we will make the final judgment upon. Thank you,
So
Dina.
I hear you and I appreciate that. But I do like the idea of the board looking at the applicants, considering, who wants to be back on the committee, and looking at those, because I think it would take the pressure off administration a bit. So they're not, oh, well, so-and-so picked this committee and they did a terrible job, and somebody feels slighted and doesn't feel represented. If it's a transparent process and we get to weigh in as a board, I do like that. But I hear you.
And I understand that. And if we need to subcommittee this work, because that's what I think we need to do, because all 5 of us talking about who's going to be on this 13-member committee, that's an automatic Brown violation.
No, I'm not saying we're talking about it. I'm saying we're looking at applications.
We're looking at applications and we're making a judgment
We're
on who's going
voting
to be
on
on
it
it.
in public.
Well, we're going to vote on the recommendation of whoever's the 13, and I don't think we should be looking at it,
I respectfully disagree.
if we subcommittee it to trustees, actually doing what you're just saying, looking at the list of names, people who, from the 7 who want to stay on the committee, the other 6 that potentially come from the committee, we could use the matrix that we currently have outlined here, and then make a recommendation to the full board. And then we could go from there, because I don't know what Trustee Kumar, Trustee Rafay will think about, the 13 that actually show up. So if anything, I move that we, have a subcommittee of trustees to make that selection if we want to remove staff from ultimately making that decision.
It could also be a collaboration with staff too. It could be a committee with 2 board members and staff members to kind of go through them. That's an option. It's really, it's entirely up to all of you.
For me, I like the structure. So the 13 sounds good. I would not want to add more. In terms of who picks, I really have no strong feelings. If trustees are feeling strongly about a subcommittee, I'll support it. I don't want to be on it. But, and yeah, the one big thing though is transparency. So
Yes.
that is big. These applications that we're seeking, if we can even blast a sentence on our marquee, our new marquee, that would be great.
Yeah.
People need to know. We just
Yep.
need to make sure that we get it
Yep.
out there. That's my big thing. But I'm happy to support whatever the trustees want.
I really like, and also like for transparency, like we can have the committee report to us every meeting, like what is happening, like, so we don't have to be part of it, but they are going to report to us, update us.
I just thought of another potential option. One of the things we could do is after the deadline for committee names, submissions, applications, we could have a period of time where we share all of them with the board individually, and then you could individually share your feedback on, I believe that these individuals best meet, we could set it up in a Google Doc where you could identify individuals that you think best fit the categories based on the criteria. The subcommittee could get together and use those names as a starting point and work through. That's another option that you have available. And then the subcommittee would I think we wouldn't, then the committee would be formed by the subcommittee. That's an option.
I think that's fair because any trustee who wants to chime in can, and if they'd rather not, they don't have to. So
Yep.
that gives the option.
I concur.
Okay, so.
I do like that idea. Are we going to see what the previous committee worked on, or is that not?
It became really obvious. We had such a short timeline.
Yeah.
And it became very obvious that there wasn't going to be a recommendation coming from that committee to this board. And at that point in time, the only meeting we could have done that would have been the 16th. And we knew that we were moving into summer. I don't know what the point of it is at this time. It's up to you. We could have, if the former members are willing, they could come and share it with the board. I'm hoping that some of them will still want to be involved, and they'd be part of the process. It's really up to the board, but that other committee is functionally not, or it's not functional at this point because of this process. So it's really up to the board.
But they worked hard, and I feel like
It's up to the board.
that information, I don't know.
Something about the things you're saying. As a public, you have a committee, you haven't even listened to the committee, and you want a subcommittee. And you want transparency? Okay, that's real. All I is that before you make judgments and commentary about the substance of the committee, you at least hear what they did.
Actually, like you've had a chance to speak at the, thank you.
One possible interim thing I could do is talk to Ramon, who was chairing the original committee, and have him put together a summary of what was done, what was considered. And that could be shared with the board if you want. You could have Ramon come and report at the September meeting if you wanted to about what's been happening, just to give you an update. It's really entirely up to you.
I wouldn't mind a summary. I don't know if he needs to present, but.
Again, whatever information that we could get from the previous committee, I think would be helpful. And two, I think that 13 is a good number. And then, it's ultimately going to be a board decision. And so we should be part of a subcommittee working with staff to fill out the 13.
Are you
And so-
volunteering?
Yes, I think that my personal experience as being part of a number of renaming committees since 1999, being on, I think maybe up to 3 different naming committees. I think my experiences would be helpful.
I like the process you outlined, John.
Okay.
I mean, I can partner with Pat. I probably have more availability than most.
If I do.
So do we have a subcommittee
I think we do.
recognized?
Hopefully it'll go as well as the resolution one did, because it was the same subject. That's good. So we've got, just to be clear, we are going to add into the timeline a committee report on 10-6, where the criteria that will be used to review names will be shared, and then they can take feedback and modify as appropriate. For the selection process, once the application deadline closes, we'll send all applications to board members individually, and you can submit feedback to me, and then I'll share the feedback from the board with a subcommittee of to select the renaming committee that will consist of Pat, Melanie, and then staff as appropriate. And then that group will create the composition of the board based on board feedback, and we'll go from there. Does that sound right? All right.
I have a
Call to order.
question. I have a question.
Trustee
So
Gonzalez.
this is just a information item, but this motion is ready for the action item. I just wish Principal Camacho should have been here in June. He should have been here tonight. I just really would have answered all our questions and just gave that transparency. Now, I don't think the committee, it kind of feels like a silo, that like what's going on. I have to ask like you, hey, what's going, you know, a third person, what was the experience, what's going on? When Principal Camacho should have been here as a committee leader, so.
Yeah, and again, going back to once the board decided to go in a different direction, the committee, we could have done that. That wasn't a request that came to me, and puts Mr. Camacho in a kind of a tough spot at this point, especially with the opening of school. But we could have done that, but again, that wasn't a request that came here. I'm hoping that there'll be a blending of the committees where this will all come out. And certainly I'll talk to Ramon about putting together a summary of the work that was done that can be shared with the board and anybody else that's interested.
So do we? Yes.
Mayor, you should know better. No, I'm kidding. I will clarify the motion. So here's what I'm taking from this is the motion on 12A will be to adopt and it's again described in 12A exactly as it is in 10A, to adopt this process and procedure for the renaming of Cesar Chavez Middle School with the following modifications. One, that for the selection of the committee will be made by a subcommittee made up of 2 board members, Trustee Irby and Trustee Freeberg, and staff, that all board members will have the opportunity to review applications first and submit recommendations for each of the 13 seats. And that's what the subcommittee will use as the basis for moving forward, and then make selections as appropriate based on availability and things like that. So that's one. So it would be, I guess to summarize it, the motion would be to approve the process with the added selection committee process, and to have during the October board meeting, the criteria for the naming process shared with the board for review prior to them moving forward. It's kind of long-winded, but I guess it would be with a revised timeline. So here's the motion. Approve the process with noted revisions to the selection process for the committee and to the timeline.
So do we have a second?
Well, we're not voting on it here. It would be the action item down. So you,
Okay.
and
Number
no.
12, we have to go to.
And I can help us remember that when we get there.
Sounds good. Okay, now 10B. Required quarterly reports regarding complaints filed under the Williams Complaint Procedure 2025-26 quarter 4. So it's an information item confirming that the district received 0 William complaints during quarter 4 of the 25-26 school year. Item 10C. Items from the board and superintendent. Are there any items from the board and the superintendent? Trustee Medina.
Sorry, I didn't know that was me. For the first 3 days of school, it was an orientation where there was workshops on empathy and the harm that hate speech causes, as well as icebreakers. And Friday was the optional school hike, as well as the school barbecue, in which both went successfully. And flag, whoa, flag football tryouts start next week. That's it.
Thank you. And welcome. And Trustee Kumar?
A very warm welcome to you. You did great. I just have a few updates. I was thrilled to welcome our teachers and our staff back at the staff kickoff event. Honoring them for their years of service, it just starts the academic year off on a very positive note. So I love that we're doing that. Second, I tabled for NHUSD at National Night Out. Always a great opportunity to meet our families. We had a bunch of middle schoolers who were playing Connect Four with Dr. Thompson.
Smoked him.
And they requested him to go easy. He did not.
But I lost every time.
And then last but not the least, my August chat with your trustee is going to be on Wednesday, August 19th from 3 to 4 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Gonzalez?
Nothing to report at this time.
Thank you. Trustee Irby?
Sorry, this is hit all these buttons. I have a list of things. As of our last board meeting on 6/16, on 6/17, I participated with the YCP viewing at Century 25. The student presentations were fantastic and inspiring because quite a few of them are heading into middle school, and our programs are really going to blossom with all this young talent and creativity that we saw that evening. 709, I participated with the summer school graduation. Again, it's inspiring to see our students come back and finish the job. And then for the board, thank you for allowing me to attend the Filipino American National Historical Society Conference in Arlington, Virginia. It was basically a 4-day conference. I was supposed to be one of 6 elected officials from Alameda County, and I was actually the only public education trustee that was able to go. And so the exciting thing is that it was very informative for the community and for the young people, and then for myself, I was able to talk about our forensics program here at James Logan High School, our dual immersion program in both Spanish and Mandarin, our 2 programs, and then a lot of the things that are happening in our school district. It made a lot of individuals excited about participating in elected office in their areas. There's like 43 chapters around the United States. The next conference will be in 2 years in Stockton. And they're probably expecting us back because they'd like to see some of our students from ESSJ. I think Studies in Social Justice program. Let's see, I attended a luncheon with the mayor, with the Consul General of the Philippines later in July. And basically, again, it was an opportunity. In Alameda County, there's a big conversation about Filipino teachers coming to the United States and teaching classes in our science and special education. We don't have that here in New Haven. Luckily, we have all our positions filled by our teachers, but it's an issue that's within the county, and maybe an issue for us as we move forward with other languages that we, want to fill positions in. Again, I also attended the staff kickoff. I wanted to say thank you to our classified staff members who were out there serving, passing out T-shirts, the staff members who were out there passing out T-shirts and serving all the certificated staff members a lunch. It was plentiful. So kudos to food services to providing all the drinks and the lunch. August 4th, I participated in leading through policy and essential tools for governance. CSBA-sponsored seminar. October 4th was our National Night Out. I participated before and was relieved by Trustee Freeberg. And I was served in the booth with CBO Franklin and Deputy Superintendent Stevens. And let's see. And I'm supposed to pass along to the superintendent and to the president of the board that you may be receiving an invitation to have lunch with the director general, not the director council of the Taiwanese consulate. That will happen sometime later in August. And then lastly, there's a counselor at James Logan High School who happens to be my wife. Happy birthday, honey. I'm sorry I'm not with you, but we have a trustee meeting this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy birthday, Renee. And now Trustee Freeberg.
Yes, thank you. I feel like the summer just sped by. I can't believe that school is already in session and we're here again. I have a few updates. One of them is personal. In July, I decided to do a 31-day, 31-mile challenge to raise funds for awareness for trans visibility and the organization Trans Lifeline. The goal is to do at least a mile every day in July, so you have 31 miles by the end of July. And I'm happy to report that I did a total of 295,000 steps in July and did somewhere between 120 to 140 miles in July. So yay. I have a few board updates. This is the first year I've been able to attend the staff kickoff, and that was really fun and really great. It's really sort of heartening to see the tenure among staff. They celebrated 5, 10, 15, 20, and 30-year milestones, which I think, Matos, you were there. And I think that's really amazing. I was also able to attend National Night Out for the first time this year, and it was really great to see so much community engagement and the big turnout from the New Haven community. That's it.
Thank you, Trustee Freeberg. I don't have much to share. Superintendent Thompson?
Just a couple of things. Opening of school went really well. It was great. I got to every site, and to see everyone back felt great. By the end of summer, I'm ready to have kids back. We are in the process of stabilizing enrollment, collapsing classes, moving teachers, the same things we always do at the beginning of the year. And it's been great, as Shane mentioned from NHTA. They've been great partners in helping us make all of that happen. So I appreciate the support of NHTA and the president particularly. We had one of our teachers, Star Wong, recognized by UC Davis as the Coding and Robotics C-STEM Teacher of the Year, which is quite an honor for her. So congratulations to Star. That's a great way to start the year. And finally, I'd like to welcome Trustee Medina. You're going to be a great addition to the board. Welcome.
Thank you. So now, do we have any committee reports that trustees would like to share? Trustee Herbie?
From the Mission Valley ROP, we were awarded a CTIG grant of $4.8 million for the 26-27 school year. It's an increase of $2.1 million over last year's budget, so it's a big increase for us. And then from our next meeting for the Joint District and City Subcommittee meeting will be, I didn't write the date down. It's just prior to our next board meeting in September. And so that'll be 5:30 to 6:30. And the district will be hosting that particular subcommittee meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Herbie. Any more reports from anyone? Okay, none, seeing that. Thank you so much. So now we are on the action items, and Superintendent will help us with the motion for the Cesar Chavez Middle School.
The motion should come from the board, but I can help with
Thank
it.
you.
Does anybody think they have it? Or I can, this would be what I would recommend. Approve the CCMS renaming process with the noted modifications to the committee selection process and the timeline. But that's.
So moved.
Someone has to make the motion. I can't make the motion.
I move to vote. Is that what we're?
You would be making a motion to approve the CCMS renaming process with the noted modifications to the committee selection process and the timeline.
Thank you for the word, trustee.
I have it written down if that helps.
Yes, slide that over. Yeah.
Hey.
No, thank you. Question is, can I read his writing?
That's a question.
So I move that we approve a 12A, approve CCMS renaming process with modifications to the committee selection process and the timeline.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Do you have discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion passes. Thank
Aye.
you. And now for the adoption, adopt resolution number 0012627, National Latinx Heritage Month, September 15th to October 15th. Do we have someone to read the resolution?
I'll go ahead and read it. Resolution number 0012627, National Latinx Heritage Month, September 15th to October 15th, 2026. Whereas the New Haven Unified School District is honored to join the nation in recognizing the annual observance of National Hispanic Heritage Month, which the district celebrates as Latinx Heritage Month from September 15th through October 15th. And whereas Latinx Heritage Month is a time to recognize the rich histories, cultures, traditions, and contributions of people whose heritage traces to Mexico, Central America, South America, the Caribbean, and Spain. And whereas the district recognizes the diversity of the identities within this community and acknowledges that individuals may identify with terms such as Hispanic, Latino, Latina, Latinx, Latin, Chicana, Chicana, Chicanx, or other identities that reflect their personal heritage and lived experiences. And whereas the observance begins during a period when many nations in Latin America and the Caribbean celebrate their independence, including Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Mexico, Chile, and Belize. And whereas despite histories of exclusion, discrimination, language suppression, segregation, unequal educational opportunities, Latinx communities have demonstrated extraordinary resilience and have made enduring contributions to the civic, cultural, scientific, educational, economic, and political life of the United States. And whereas pursuant of the educational equity has been advanced through landmark efforts such as Mendez versus Westminster, 1947, which helped end school segregation in California and influenced the latter decision in Brown versus Board of Education, demonstrating the longstanding leadership of Latino families in advancing educational justice. And whereas throughout the year, the district honors the many contributions of Latinx Americans whose leadership, service, innovation, advocacy, and cultural achievements have strengthened our communities and enriched our nation. And whereas Latinx individuals are an integral part of our community, representing approximately 40% of California's population, 20.3% of Union City population, 36% of the New Haven Unified School District student enrollment. And whereas the New Haven Unified School District remains committed to creating learning environments where Latinx students are affirmed in their identities, experience a strong sense of dignity and belonging, have equitable access to rigorous learning opportunities, and see themselves reflected in curriculum, leadership, and school culture. And whereas the students of Latinx heritage enrich our schools through their diverse histories, culture, languages, and traditions, and their contributions continue to strengthen our community and the state of California. And whereas culturally responsive and historically accurate instruction that reflects the experiences, voices, and contributions of diverse communities strengthen academic engagement, promotes critical thinking, and prepares all students to participate in a multicultural democracy. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the New Haven Unified School District Board of Education hereby proclaims September 15th through October 15th, 2026 as Latinx Heritage Month and encourages schools throughout the district to commemorate and the observance with appropriate instructional activities, educational opportunities to celebrate the histories, culture, languages, achievements, and enduring contributions of the Latinx communities while promoting learning, dignity, inclusion, and cross-cultural understanding among all students, passed and adopted by the following called vote this 11th day of August, 2026.
Thank you. May I have a motion and second to adopt resolution number 001-2627, National Latinx Heritage Month, September 15 to October 15, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Discussion? Yeah, just want to say though that I despise the word Latinx. I know they're trying to be inclusive. I know it came from academia, the college folks telling us what our community, but like I identify as Chicano, and that came straight from the community. And nobody told us, hey, you're this. So just the word Latinx, I don't like though. I just want to just say that part on this for this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. I have a motion and second to adopt resolution number 002-2627, use of free and reduced lunch information.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. May I have a motion and second to adopt resolution number 004-2627, designating certain general funds as committed funds balance.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. May I have a motion and second to ratify contract with Circulating Air Inc. for the HVAC upgrade for super classroom alterations project at Kitayama Elementary School.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes. May I have a motion and second to ratify contract with Kurtco Electric for electrical upgrades for super classroom alterations project at Kitayama Elementary School.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. May I have a motion and second to ratify agreement with Adaptive for Cybersecurity 2026-27?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. May I have a motion and second to ratify agreement with Theater Locker for Cybersecurity 2026-27?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. May I have a motion and second to approve facility use agreement with Tree View Swim Club for James Logan High School water polo program for fiscal year 26-27?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. We have a motion and second to approve agreement with Point Loma Nazarene University for pupil services counseling credentials candidates 26-29.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. May I have a motion and second to approve new course at James Logan High School, Entrepreneurship Fall 2026?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. consent agendas. Are there any items on which trustees have questions or need clarification or would like pull for separate vote? Yes, trustee Marina?
Kind of going back to like looking over the applications for the committee, is it possible for both the board and the administration like to look over it and then go to like a middle ground? If that's not too much.
That is what we're going to do. Yeah, so that's okay. No, that's okay.
Okay.
You're good, thank you. A good question, thanks. So, may I have a motion and second to approve consent agenda item 13A to 13AT?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Medina,
Here.
Kumar,
Aye.
Gonzalez,
Aye.
Irby,
Aye.
Freeburg,
Aye.
Raffay.
Aye. Thank you. And monthly expense report. Monthly expense report.
Good.
Otherwise, B, C. Oh, this is all done. 15. The last one. Any comments from the trustees regarding governance?
Can I say, tonight's meeting went smooth? I thought it was gonna be a little rough, but it was good.
Thank you.
Oh, and I'd like to thank staff and trustee Freeburg for making a recommendation about the book that we all received on Robert's Rule of Order, the annotated guy. It's very helpful. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Okay, now, are there board trustee requests for staff?
I have a couple.
Trustee Kumar?
One is, I was wondering if we have consensus for staff or Dr. Thompson, if we could just send an update to the IVC families on the track project, because I've been getting a lot of calls since CCMS. The track has moved, the general community does not know where it's at, if we have consensus.
We'll do.
Awesome. And then the second thing is, I had some members reach out about the N-word initiative, and all good intentions. We did a decent job last time. They want to know what we're doing differently in terms of a plan this year. So if we have consensus, would you be able to send an update to all 5 of us, just knowing what we're doing differently this year, so we can pass that information along?
Looks like we have consent. Yeah, absolutely. We can do that. We were just working on, we're getting ready to roll out what we're doing this year soon. So I'll have that for you.
Thank you so much.
You got consensus on that? So there being no further business, this meeting adjourned at